So Skip, can we go through these matchups right now? So at the point guard, let's just say Kyle Lowry doesn't start. It'll be Fred VanVleet,
Yeah.
and Kemba Walker would be at the point on Boston, correct?
Yeah. So
Who do you think would be the number 2 on the Raps?
well, if Lowry doesn't start, then obviously that's Norm. Norman Powell slides into that role.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if
And who's going to be on the Boston side at number 2?
then it'd be smart for the Celtics. So you're on 1-1, 2-2, yeah.
Yep. And then at the 3, who would you put if you were Nick Nurse? If you were a genius and the coach of the year, who would you put?
Well, obviously it's OG who's starting the series. And then on the Boston side, it'll be, I guess, Brown's their 3. I don't really know if Tatum's their 3 or Brown
And Tatum can switch.
Yeah.
Brown, Tatum, and Smart can switch between the 2 to the 4.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are very versatile, very talented.
Yeah, so it's probably technically
same way we could put Spicy P at the 2. Wait, did I say we?
Nice. Raptors fan. Well, you called Raptors in 7, so let's be honest. So if we'll just go through. So 3-3 would be let's say Brown and OG, and then 4 will be Tatum and Siakam. And then at the 5 you've got
amazing matchup.
And then at the 5 you got Tice and Gasol. Now
that's gonna be a good one.
Now that'll be an interesting one actually, because I think Tice is a bad matchup for Gasol. I think the Raptors are actually going to want to put Serge in that spot, at least in closing time or in the minutes. I think you want to match Gasol's minutes
in crunch time.
Yeah. So I think you want to match.
Or when you need the point.
Yeah, when you need the scoring, you want Serge in there. And Tice isn't really a big guy. He's not really a dominant guy. So normally you want Gasol in there to beef with the big guys in the post, like an Embiid or even a Jonas Valanciunas. I can't really think of. I'm drawing a blank on the big guys right now. But so you want Gasol on those guys. I think with the Celtics they play a little smaller, so you really want Serge in there. I think the only natural matchup for Gasol in this series is on Enes Kanter on the bench.
Oh yes.
But
once he comes on, that's when you got to put that slow big on the slow big.
Yeah, so I'm
way to do it.
I'm actually interested in how the Raps are going to line this up defensively. So I'm thinking you got Kemba is obviously going to be guarded by VanVleet. VanVleet showed on Curry last year that he can go after the lead guard pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And then Smart is where it gets interesting, because I think you could put Lowry and Norm on him and just play it straight up. But I was just reading an article by Blake Murphy. Shout out Blake Murphy, the Athletic, best Raptors reporter in the business. Wrote a blurb for my book, so check it out.
Yep.
So I think he was suggesting that you can put Siakam on Smart and just kind of...
That's what I'm thinking! I like this guy.
Yeah, because he's fast and he can just cheat off Smart a little bit and like double guys.
He's got a wide wingspan.
Yeah. I think the main thing, though, is that if you put Siakam on Smart, then he can cheat off Smart and double guys in the post. Because you don't mind leaving Smart out in the corner.
Weak side defense, baby.
Yeah. And then I think you got to put OG on Tatum, although they did play some Lowry on Tatum in the regular season.
You got to minimize Tatum.
I think you got to put OG on Tatum and just tell him, like, shut Tatum down, because Tatum's their most dangerous player and OG is the best defender in the series. I think that's a slam dunk. Obviously, you'll get switches, you'll get Siakam on him sometimes, but I think OG has got to be the guy who's in his jersey every single possession. And then we already got
to minimize him, because look at Tatum. Tatum can score no matter who's guarding him, right? Yeah. You just got to minimize him.
Yeah, and right? OG is that guy. I mean, Siakam can be that guy too, but Siakam, I don't think you want him focusing on that. OG can focus on that and just be that defensive shutdown guy and not worry about his offense. So then we did the centers. So I guess the only guys that are left are Lowry and Brown, if we do it that way, or Siakam and Brown. So I guess
I think there could be a point where Raps will go small ball, or long ball.
I agree.
because we haven't seen what they've really pulled up from Boston. This is one of the reasons why I credit Nick Nurse as the coach of the year, is because he hasn't shown Boston what they can do, because he knew they were going to play Boston. He doesn't want to give them a game plan against them. No, he wants to throw a wrench in their thing. So they can go big ball. They could have Gasol, Siakam, OG,
and Ibaka. That's big. That's going big.
Yeah. And then have Van Vliet and Lowry. You can go big, but then you can also go small as well.
So, what do you
Raptors team is very versatile.
100%. But so against Boston, what's your small lineup? Are you talking like Serge isn't really going small? Like, I think they might throw a Serge in there.
No, I wouldn't have Serge at small. I'd have Siakam at the 5.
You know, I'd actually have OG at the 5 more than Siakam.
Okay.
But yeah,
OG and Pascal at the 5 and the 4.
Exactly.
That's fine. And then put Powell at 3 and put Van Vliet and Lowry at the 1 and the 2.
Yeah. I think we might see that lineup. Yeah, that could definitely come into play.
This is why Nick Nurse is a genius, because he can adapt.
That's actually one thing he did in the Nets series. He just did it in the one game before the Raptors blew the series open. But he did do that in the Nets series. And it's not a lineup that's played a whole lot together. And Jared Allen actually did get some dunks out of it. But I think it worked overall. I think it worked. So I definitely think we could see that lineup. Yeah.
It's like, whatever. You got an easy bucket, but we just crushed you.
Here's the only problem I have with that lineup. I don't even think it's a bad lineup. I think they should go to it. But if they go to it too heavily, then that really messes up their bench.
No, they're not going to go too heavily. Because this is what I want to ask you about, Skip.
Yeah.
This Toronto Raptors bench. Oh my God. 100 freaking points in a 150-point game.
Yeah.
At the end of a sweep.
Yeah, that was
First time ever the Raptors have ever done that.
Yeah.
Skip, what do you think about this Raptors bench? Like, my boy Thomas, you got Boucher there. You got Ibaka. It depends on him and Gasol whether they're starting or not. But the Raptors are interchangeable. What do you think about how versatile this team is on the bench alone to score 100 freaking points? Are you kidding me? Setting the NBA record. Skip, how much faith do you have in this bench? Especially considering Boston's bench ain't that great.
I mean, I don't have that much faith. I think the main reason that it was 100 points was because the game was over in the third quarter. And it was a lot. The bench just played the whole fourth quarter. I definitely think there are benches better than the Celtics. And obviously Norm and Serge are terrific bench players. And Boston has nobody that can match Norm and Serge coming off the bench. Once you get past those two guys, then you get into Terrence Davis, who's been good, but he's been a little iffy. Like Nurse has benched him for quarters and halves here and there. He even didn't even play in one of the Nets games for some reason, which I'm not really sure why. But he has been a little bit touch and go in the bubble. Rondé, love Rondé, but I can shoot better than Rondé, so that's a bit of a problem. Love it. Love his defense. Love his rebounding. He's a bit of an offensive liability when he's on the floor, to say the least, though. So you got Rondé, who I think he's going to play, but you got to make sure you spot him minutes, really small doses against certain lineups. Like maybe he guards Tatum for like 5 minutes when Siakam's resting or OG's resting or something. But he's not going to play a major role.
Don't shoot, play D. That's
exactly.
It. Sometimes you got to do that in the game.
Matt Thomas is fun, but
yes, my boy.
He's so much fun, but
that's what I'm talking about.
I don't think he's going to play that much in this series. I think maybe he gets sprinkled in like on a possession at the end of the quarter when they need a 3, but I don't think he trusts him enough to play in big minutes.
Come on, Skip. You're gonna have the white boy go flip some backside in the whitest city in the world. Oh, That'd be great.
I think Utah might have a claim on the way to sweeping the world, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know.
No, I mean I like Matty Ice. Don't get me wrong. I don't really think he's a playoff player. I think his defense just isn't quite there, and Nurse doesn't trust him that much. But I think we might see
He's
him.
a role player.
Yeah, we might see him for 5 minutes. We might see him for 5 minutes or something.
I'd love to see him for 5 minutes.
And then you got Boucher, and I was surprised Nurse didn't play Boucher against the Nets. I thought he'd earned some minutes.
Didn't need to.
Yeah,
didn't need to.
So I'll be interested to see if he matches up with the Celtics at all, because I don't think Nick Nurse trusts him that much because he likes to just bomb threes, and he's not a good 3-point shooter.
He's going to be a stretch guy mostly on defense.
Yeah, he's a nice shot blocker to throw in there, a little Hassan Whiteside to mix it up. But yeah, I don't think Thomas and Boucher are going to play that much. Obviously, no one below them on the depth chart is even going to see the floor. But Thomas and Boucher are sort of where you might see them get into a game or two, but they're not going to play every game. I think it's really Norm, Serge, Davis, and Hollis Jefferson are going to be the guys. As much as Boucher's been pretty good, so maybe I'm missing something. Maybe he does match up.
So can we agree that the Raptors bench is extremely deep?
It's deep because I was just looking at the Celtics bench.
Probably the deepest bench in the league.
I don't know about that, but it's solid. It's very good. Yes, it's very good. And I was looking at the Celtics bench, and I was not impressed by the names I was seeing. So, yeah, you got Wanamaker. I don't really know too much about him, but he doesn't scare me much.
Yeah,
he's like a guard who does things.
Yeah. Who?
I mean, Cantor's fun because he's a big scorer, but he can't play D.
I like watching him play.
But that's the thing. So if they play Cantor, Gasol just comes in and neutralizes him.
Bango.
So honestly, I think Cantor probably doesn't even play after the second game of the series because Brad Stevens already benches him a lot as it is. And against Gasol, he's got no shot. So then you got the Williams brothers, I guess. I don't really know much about them. They're guys who play for Boston.
No, they really have nothing to do with anything.
Their guy's name's Williams. They're both black. I don't really know much more about them than that. And then you get into like the really deep bench, and I don't know too much about those guys.
They got no bench. The Raps are going to press them because when you take out your starters halfway through the second quarter in every game, that's when the Raps are going to put in their guys. And guess what? At that point, the Celtics are screwed. That's why I'm going to tell you, Skip. I said the Raptors in 6. If it goes 7, the Raps are going to take it. Congratulations to you on this prediction, saying the Raps in 4. We were both wrong.
I called that.
Yeah, you did. I said 5. You said 4. You said it'll be the first sweep ever. I don't know if you guys saw the picture that Skip put up of his broom on our Facebook page. That was hilarious.
It was perfect timing. I was actually doing some sweeping that day.
Yeah. So we've been. You were right. I was a little bit wrong on both of the series. I did not expect Boston to sweep Philly. Not even close.
No, I was really hoping Philly would stretch them out and tire them out for the Raptors, but...
Well, that's what we wanted.
Yeah.
Wait, did I say we again?
There we go.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so...
that's what we were expecting. So what are you thinking about the Raptors taking on the Celtics right now? Do you have anything to let us know?
I just think it's going to be a really good defensive series. I think both teams are going to really get after it, to use Jack Armstrong's term. I think both teams are going to fight. There's going to be a lot of scrambling for loose balls, a lot of steals, a lot of defense, a lot of...
Think it's going to be low scoring?
I think it's going to be a relatively low scoring series. I don't necessarily think it's going to be low scoring, but I don't think you'll see like 150 to 115. Like it'll be like 100 to 100, 190, or like 105 to 195, that kind of score. Maybe
I can see an 86-79 game.
I think it could get even lower. Yes, you're right, because they both play really good defense. So yeah, maybe 90, 95 to 80, something like that. I think it'll be a really close, low scoring, relatively low scoring series. Now, what I'm worried about is when it gets into that sort of a game, the Raptors can play that sort of a game, and the Celtics can play that sort of a game. But if Siakam is getting clogged up in the paint, if Siakam is just bombing threes, that worries me as a Raptors fan. And what I'm scared of is that if the Raptors clog up the paint and the Celtics clog up the paint, I'd much rather be the guy who's watching Tatum drain threes than watching Siakam drain threes. So that's where I get a little nervous as a Raptors fan, because Siakam can sort of turn into Russell Westbrook at times and just take a lot of bad threes.
Westbrook.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where I get a little nervous, where I think maybe Boston can sort of have that little spurt of offense in a series that's generally pretty defensive. But like you said, I think the Raptors are the deeper team. They have a really good bench. They have a really great defensive scheme. I think they can really go after, particularly Kemba, Brown, and Tatum. I think they can really shut those three guys down as much as anyone can. And if they can turn that into enough offense, I think they can really do some damage. So I think the three keys basically are, first of all, Lowry has to get healthy. If Lowry doesn't get healthy, that's a huge blow to the Raptors' chances in a series that's already going to be so close.
I think he could sit out a couple games and keep the Raptors good, save himself for the next round.
I think this series is going to be too close for that, to be honest. But maybe it'll work out that way. I think Nick Nurse has to out-coach Brad Stevens, because a lot of people.
Oh yes, he can.
A lot of people
have
said, Nick Nurse is actually a better coach than Brad Stevens, so we need to see that in this series.
Yes.
And there's going to be lots of little matchup stuff to watch for. Like we said with the centers and, who guards Brown, who guards Tatum. Like there's a lot of little switchy little details to deal with in this series that I think coaching will come into play quite a bit. And I just think the Raptors have to score. They have to find ways to score against a good defense.
They are second. I believe it's second for total threes made this season.
Yeah, so they got to make threes, but they have to score in the half court. That's the main thing, because they score so well in transition.
And Skip, you know what? They're going to adjust. Nick Nurse is going to take care of it. Those assistant coaches are amazing. They all came from a good system. I believe the Raptors will figure out a way to take out Boston, because Boston is a formidable opponent. I don't know if you remember, but last year when we were talking about the playoffs, and I said Boston was my biggest worry because they are most built for the playoffs. And in the years to come, if they keep that core, they will be a formidable opponent. They'll be there. They'll be in the finals. Like Giannis will have to go to a super team.
But last year's Celtics were not built for the playoffs.
But they were starting to.
Yeah, they were starting to, but with Kemba and with Tatum being so much better than he was, with Brown being so much better than he was, this team is way scarier than that team that the Bucks bounced last year.
Yeah. And you were scared of that team last year too.
I was worried about last year's team. Yeah. I'm actually. This is going to be a battle, man. This could come down to the last shot, just like last year in the second round.
Yep. So, what are we going with here? You're going to go with Raps in 7?
Raps in 7. Let's do it, baby. Let's finish it off.
I'm going to go with the Raps in 6. We'll see. We'll bet the usual. $1? Got a loony?
All right. We gotta keep track on our bets, Brian. I'm sure you owe me like $10 by now.
I owe you 4. Okay.
All right. As long as someone's counting.
All right. More importantly than what we gotta say is what you guys gotta say. Okay? We hope you guys enjoyed this video. We hope you guys agree with us on our predictions and what we have to say. And I hope you guys understood about our topics on probably why the series will go the way it is. If you have a disagreement, please leave a comment. Please let us know. Don't be shy to reach out to us. We ain't scared. We got brooms out. Right, Skip?
I don't think there'll be any brooms in this series. Let's get that
Not
out.
in this series. We got everything for you guys. You guys let us know how you feel, how you're reacting. We hope you guys are just as excited as we are about your Toronto Raptors trying to defend their championship. Masai Ujiri said, Nick Nurse said, he's not trying to defend the championship. He's trying to attack to get the next championship, which is a great mentality for your Toronto Raptors to have. We hope this does not get boycotted. We will see you guys very, 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 very soon. Okay? Let us know what you think. You guys know where to find Simon.
Yep.
Running the Point, guys. Amazon.ca, SimonBroder.com. Skip, you got anything left to say to the people?
Just don't forget about the important stuff, like the political atmosphere, what's going on in the States, and yeah, we can't lose sight of that just because we're watching basketball again. That's all I really have to say.
No distractions. So on behalf of myself and
Skip.
good afternoon, good morning, good night, good evening, and Skip.
Peace.